Hey, Connecticut, part of the problem in the state is that the police are taking bribes from the OXY pushers. So here's an example, and there are many. Let me put it on the screen. Oh, there we go. Let me shrink this and let me show you. Chris Kelly was raped by Dr. Ahuja, who is giving OXY to children to hook them as a sales force. The Darien police accept steroids, all kinds of prescriptions. And this guy, Chris, is pissed because the Ahujas are threatening to shoot him in the back of the head, and he's a plaintiff in our case. Heather Lindsay is also a plaintiff. She was threatened on May 30th. He was threatened in April. So I am outraged and horrified at how I was mistreated by the Darien police, of course, because they are being bribed. In an attempt to report my sexual assault, I was victimized by one of your officers, Officer Noto, who, I believe, has a brother. There's another Officer Noto in another town that we have highlighted in the past. Anyway, after a long time in the lobby, escorted, into an interrogation room. My witness support system was not allowed with me, even though I was told I would feel more comfortable if I could have my support system. Noto was harsh and accusatory from the outset. He accused him basically of having a false notary. Now, the notary is the clerk in the library of the court. Okay, so I know the guy. He's a stand-up guy. He's an attorney, and he helps lots of people all the time. His reputation is stellar. To say that this officer re-victimized me would be an understatement. Since being questioned by Noto, I am experiencing a secondary victimization as a result of reporting my assault. Now, I've gone in there multiple times for the guy, Chris, and so has other people who are advocates for Chris. It is difficult for me to fathom how this officer who read my affidavit could be so cruel. He's claiming he was raped by a doctor, okay? Just like Heather was raped by the same doctor. I think there's 13 people coming forward now. Some have died already, so it's hard to say how we're going to be able to put that together, but we're working on it. So, in the aftermath of filing my police report, where he was victimized the second time, post-traumatic stress disorder, insomnia, nightmares, and severe anxiety. I no longer trust the Darien police. Well, that's because they worked for Jamie Stevenson, who allowed them to rob people, rape people, and it's pretty sad that Dr. Ahuja, right here, had a pill mill OXY handout station in Darien right under their noses, and they had full knowledge because they let him slide. And Dr. A.J. Ahuja right here, that I'm highlighting with the highlighter, his brother is the guy investigated and indicted for bribing police. So it's an amazing story, which you're going to have to hear. Can't cover it all in a short amount of time, but my affidavit is complete with facts and a clear message to the Ahujas as well as their support system of drug dealers and rapists. Families are at stake. Therefore, the Darien Police Department should use every available resource. Now, by the way, this is a long time ago. He's never heard from them. The date of this affidavit, let's see what the date is. Oh, it's a year and 6 months old. And they've never gotten back to him. That's his number. Here we go, affidavit. Oh, he went to Dr. Ahuja's office. Big mistake. Let's read paragraph 5. I was sexually assaulted by Dr. A.J. Ahuja in his medical office. Grabbed my testicles and with one hand and penetrated my with ungloved fingers with his other hand. And he propositioned me to have sex with him. Oh boy. Okay. I went to the prosecutor's office. They did nothing. The prosecutor right now is Tamaccio, who is framing other people, and just stole $145,000 from a guy who he falsely arrested 5 times recently through his falsified testimony. After meeting the victim's advocate, I was directed to, and sat down with Judge Gary White's courtroom with a number of Dr. Ahuja's victims who were prepared to give their victim impact statement before the sentencing of Ahuja. Heather Lindsay was one of the victims waiting there to make her impact statement. She was drugged and gang raped by Dr. Ahuja, his brother Michael, and his nephew Sonny Ahuja. Eyewitness Judge Gary White, who the Ahujas are saying they bribed, at the Stamford Superior Court, screamed at Heather Lindsay to sit down and refused her to allow her to make any victim statement that day. It is clear that the corruption that exists in the Connecticut courts protecting a known drug dealer, just like the prosecutor who's protecting Purdue Pharma from criminal prosecution after 100,000 overdoses this year. Hello, we don't have a gun problem. We have a prosecutor problem. We have a OXY problem where bribes from Connecticut are enabling doctors to kill people. Dr. Ahuja was allowed to receive accelerated rehab and pay a $10,000 fine to charity. I am prepared to testify that Dr. Ahuja bragged about raping Heather Lindsay. Do we need to say any more? He showed me naked photographs of Heather Lindsay asleep on his couch, photographs of himself naked on top of her, and multiple photographs of his nephew Sonny and his brother Michael naked on top of Heather Lindsay. I don't know what else you need to say, except that these are public records. These are public records in a federal lawsuit where the brothers are now threatening to shoot myself, Heather Lindsay, and Chris Kelly. And I'm running for U.S. Senate. So why is Judge White, Judge Blowy, Judge Kremrich, Judge Kavanewski, Judge Gennario protecting a murdering son of a bitch rapist? Multiple rapist. He rapes men and women. So, I don't know what that makes him. I guess he has his own new gender. Pedophilia, bestiality, and what I call the letter A for Ahuja. An Ahuja is protected and people are being overdosed. Ahuja murdered his own wife and his own son because they knew too much. And these guys are bragging that they own Judge White. Kremrich, Kavanewski are maintaining that they'll defend Judge White till the cows come home. Well, pigs are flying and cows are coming home. So you need to share this because it is Connecticut who brought you OXY. Brought you OXY. And 5G for that matter. It's Senator Blumenthal giving you 5G. taking the bribes, neutering your kids, giving you cancer, making your kids autistic, and making them infertile. Folks, Connecticut is the head of the snake. It made Trump president. I can prove it. I will prove it. We have Black Lives Matter running our appellate court. Holy mackerel. And just for the clerk of the appellate court's own understanding. Oh, and that goes for the DA of Bridgeport. Am I a Trump supporter? Over Biden? Yes. But I did run against Trump in 2020 for President of the United States. What happened there? My name was never put on the ballot. Oh no. Did I qualify? Oh yes. Have a great day, folks. It's all good. Thank you very much for listening.